So today in this video we solve some important previous year KSET examination questions. So this question related to linear algebra that is asked in the year 2025 KSET exam. The question is that if the square matrix A, so there is a square matrix A of order 3. Square matrix C means that is understood that is a 3 cross 3 matrix has eigenvalues 2 to 8. So that has eigenvalues 2 to 8. So then we have to find the trace of A. So to solve this simple question, so we know that if A is a square matrix, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 up to so on, lambda n are the eigenvalues of A. If A is a square matrix, so then lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 up to so on, lambda n are the n eigenvalues of this matrix. So then we know two properties. That first one is sum of the eigenvalues. So that is whatever the eigenvalues we got here. So if you add all those eigenvalues, so that sum is always equals to trace of the given matrix. What is trace means? So we have to add the diagonal elements of the given matrix. Trace of a matrix means sum of diagonal elements. So if lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 up to so on lambda n, that is n eigenvalues of a square matrix of order n. So then we have two properties. So that is sum of the eigenvalues is always equals to the trace of that matrix. And second property is that, so if you multiply all those eigenvalues, so that is if you take the product of all those eigenvalues, so that is lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 dot into, dot means multiplication, into lambda n. So we will get the determinant of that matrix. Is it clear, student? So apply this property here. So we have three eigenvalues here. So lambda 1 is 2, lambda 2 is 2 and lambda 3 is 8 here. So what is the trace of matrix A is equals to, so we know that property, that first property, sum of the eigenvalues is always equals to the trace of that matrix. So the trace of this matrix is given by, so the trace of this given matrix is lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3, that is 2 plus 2 plus 8, that is 12. So 12 is the correct answer, that is option B is the answer. Is it clear, students? So come to the next question. This question is also related to the linear algebra. So again that is related to eigenvalues. Okay. So here also we have three eigenvalues. Minus 1, 2, 2 are the eigenvalues of a 3 cross 3 matrix. So then eigenvalues of AQ. So again we know the property, if lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 up to so on lambda n are eigenvalues of a matrix A, are eigenvalues of a square matrix A, that is these n eigenvalues are eigenvalues of this matrix of order n cross n. Then A square has eigenvalues lambda 1 square, lambda 2 square, lambda 3 square up to so on lambda n square. So next similarly, so if you take 1 by A square, that is A raised to minus 2. If you take the minus 2, so we have to take the negative square power to the each eigenvalue. So that is lambda 1 raised to minus 2, lambda 2 raised to minus 2, lambda 3 raised to minus 2 up to so on lambda n raised to minus 2. Is it clear, student? So here also we have minus 1, 2, 2. So minus 1, 2, 2 are the eigenvalues of A. So we need the eigenvalues of AQ. So what are the eigenvalues of AQ become? So just we have to cube all these eigenvalues. So that is minus 1 cube is minus 1, 2 cube is 8, 2 cube is again 8. So minus 1, 8, 8. So these are the eigenvalues of AQ matrix. So which is the option? So that is option E is the correct one. Is it clear, student? So now come to the next question. So this question is related to the definite integral. So we have to evaluate the value of this definite integral. So which is, so we have to find the definite integral of x raised to 5 cos 5x within the limits minus pi to pi. So let us see the solution. So here to solve this solution, actually if you solve this by normal procedure, by integrating, that is by using the integration by parts, so this question becomes very lengthier. So to avoid that multi steps, so we have to use the property of definite integral. So which is the property is, so we know that a property, that is, so integration from minus a to a. So whenever we have integration from minus a to a, f of x into dx, so this has two possibilities. So first one is that, so this integral becomes 2 times 0 to a f of x into dx if f of x is even function. So this integral, whenever you have integration from minus a to a f of x into dx, so this has two possibilities. First one is that if f of x is even function, so the value of this integral becomes 2 times 0 to a, 2 times integral of f of x into dx 0 to a. So if this function is odd function, so if the function is odd function, so the value of this definite integral directly becomes 0. Is it clear, students? Now let us understand the even and odd function. Even function means, so whenever you have f of x as a function, so if you replace the x by minus x, if you replace x by minus x in the f of x, so that is if you replace the x by minus x, if the answer is again f of x only, so then we say that f of x is an even function. F of x is an even function. That is, whenever we have a function f of x, if you replace x by minus x in that function, so again if you get the f of x, so then we say that that function is an even function. So similarly, odd function means, so whenever you have f of x as a function, so if you replace the x by minus x, so if you get minus f of x, if you get a minus of this function, that is minus of f of x, so then we say that f of x is an odd function. So then we say that f of x is an odd function. So examples of for even function is that I'll take f of x is equals to x square. So replace the x by minus x here. So what you will get, f of minus x is equal to, again replace the x by minus x in RHS also, that is minus x whole square. So what is minus x whole square is again x square only, but x square is equals to f of x, means f of minus x becomes f of x only, so that f of x square is a even function, is an even function. So similarly, if you consider f of x is equals to sin x, so if you consider f of x is equal to sin x, replace the x by minus x here. So what you will get, f of minus x is equal to sin of minus x. What is sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. So minus sin x, that is equals to minus f of x, means f of minus x becomes minus f of x, so that sin function is an odd function. Is it clear, student? So here also apply this property. So here also we have minus pi to pi x raised to 5 cos 5x. So check for even and odd here. So we have f of x is equals to, what is f of x is equal to here, x raised to 5 cos 5x. Is it clear? So replace the x by minus x. What you will get? So minus x raised to 5 cos of 5 times minus x. Replace the x by minus x. So what you will get? F of minus x is equal to, f of minus x is equals to minus x raised to 5. So if you have minus x raised to odd power, that becomes minus x raised to 5 only. Is it clear, student? So if you take the even power of minus x raised to, that is even power, so minus x raised to 2 minus x raised to 4, then that becomes x square, x raised to 4, like that. So here it is odd power, means minus only, minus x raised to 5. So similarly here also, so multiply this 5 to inside, so this becomes cos of minus 5x. So here only we see that cos of, keep this x raised to x raised to 5, I'll write it here, minus x raised to 5 as it is. Cos of, what is cos of minus theta is cos theta only. So therefore, because cos theta is a even function, so cos of 5x only. So we have minus as it is. What is the value of x raised to 5 cos 5x is f of x only. Is it clear, student? F of x. So therefore, if you replace the x by minus x here, so we got minus f of x. So therefore, this function is an odd function. Is it clear, student? So therefore, since this function is an odd function, so using this property, if f is an odd function, the value of this definite integral directly becomes 0. Is it clear, student? So therefore, the correct option for this question is option A, that is 0. Is it clear, students? So there is no need to solve this by integration by parts. If you solve it by traditional method, that becomes very lengthy. Is it clear, students? Okay. So come to the next question. So this question is related to group theory, that is cardinality of group. So we have a group whose order is given. So that is the order of the group is given, that is 121. Means we have order of G is equals to 121. So then we have to say that whether G is abelian, G is a cyclic group. So what is Z of G is equals to G means center of G. We know that Z of G means the center of G is equals to G. So then none of these. So we have to check which option is correct. So here it is given that order of g is equals to 121. So how can we write this 121 as 11 square? So can we write this 121 as 11 square? Obviously. So 11 square is 121 only. So we know the theorem that, what is that theorem is? So whenever we have order of g is equals to some prime number square. So some prime number square. So then we have that so center of g equals to g only, means if you find the center of g of, that is center of this group, so that becomes g itself. Is it clear, student? So therefore this option is correct here. So this question is directly by this theorem. Is it clear, students? Okay. So now come to this question. So this question is related to complex number. Somewhat tricky question. See the solution. So we have to find the one of the values of this I raised to I. What is I is equals to? I is an imaginary unit. That is a complex number. Imaginary unit. So that is a complex number. I is equal to under root of -1. So we have to find the value of I raised by to the power I. Means I raised to I we have to find here. Is it clear, student? So see the solution. How to solve this? So see here. We have I raised to I. I raised to I means, so how can we write this base I as? So can I write this as 0 plus 1 into I? So obviously correct. I means, so I'll write this I in a plus ib form as 0 plus 1 into I. So raised to I as it is. Is it clear, student? Now apply the theorem. What is that theorem is? We know that e raised to I theta. By Euler's theorem, we know that e raised to I theta is cos theta plus I into sin theta. Is it clear, student? Now see here, apply this formula, this Euler's formula here. So here I'll take 0, means compare this one. So 0 means, so we need, what we need here? So we need the cos theta is equal to 0 here. So at which angle theta becomes 0 here? That is, cos theta becomes 0 here at obviously 90 degree. That is cos pi by 2 plus. So again we need I into 1. 1 means sin theta becomes 1. So when sin theta becomes 1 here, again at 90 degree. So that is I into sin pi by 2. Is it clear, students? Now apply this formula. So cos theta, so theta means pi by 2 only. So cos theta plus I sin theta. So this becomes e raised to, so raised to I as it is, e raised to I into pi by 2. Is it clear? So this bracket becomes e raised to I pi by 2, because cos theta plus I sin theta is equals to e raised to I theta. So raised to I. So here we have e raised to I pi by 2 raised to I. So now take the multiplication. So e raised to, multiply these two in the powers. I into I pi by 2. Is it clear, student? So keep the e as it is. What is I into I is? I square is -1. So this becomes minus pi by 2. Means the value of this I raised to I, that is one value, one of the values. So we have to find the one of the values. So there are infinite values for this one. So we have to find one of the values, correct value among these four options. So that is I raised to I. One of the values is e raised to minus pi by 2. So that is, which option is the correct one here? So that is option C is the correct answer. Is it clear, students? Thank you.